On this road trip upstate beyond the George Washington Bridge, I drove with the Pennypacker kids, Steve and Sonia, to meet their progressive school classmates for a weekend party in the country. It would be my first visit to a working vineyard, first encounter with New York exurbanites and their model daughter Averill, first exposure to beat poets like Rexroth, Corso, and Ferlinghetti, and to quirky adolescent intellects who listened to such poetry.
I have heard the junk man's obligato. I have ridden superhighways and believed the billboard's promises, slept in mailbox overnight cabins, crossed the Jersey Flats and seen the cities of the plain, and wallowed in the wilds of Westchester with its roving bands of natives in station wagons.
It would be my discovery of a wider world outside of my own parochial Philadelphia. The Crosbys had left a Manhattan life as writers and visual artists to run their own vineyard, and they enjoyed entertaining all sorts, even us teenagers. We all came from truly different backgrounds, and most of the guests were students at High Mowing, a Waldorf school that follows an esoteric philosophy that I couldn't begin to grasp at the time. Averill had just begun a modeling career, and everyone was thrilled to hear she was the cover girl on the Journal and Cosmopolitan. I'm not sure what they were smoking, but it certainly helped them to appreciate Ferlinghetti.
Let us arise and go now to the Isle of Man is free and live the true blue, simple life of wisdom and wonderment, where all things grow straight up, aslant and singing in the yellow sun, poppies out of cowpods, thinking angels out of turds.
I was about to enter college and had my sights set on architecture. Who knew I'd make a splash in documentary film? Purvis was writing poetry, and we never knew exactly what he was thinking. At 17, Lucky was already a worldly woman. She tossed me off after only one date in Boston. Steve had gone Ivy on us and was loping off to Dartmouth in the fall. Sonia was headed to London to become a special education teacher, but that would be for another day. The Schaefer brothers were from a science family, and they told us about their time in a sensory deprivation tank, but all senses were working that day. The Crosbys kept their vineyard for just another 14 years, but I never got to return. Much later, I learned that Everett had written a book about their experience on the vineyard. We left that weekend in our old station wagon, full of enthusiasm of the age, oddly caught up with the beat poets, calling out lines like, "Let us go, then you and I," and, not knowing its meaning, "Timor mortis conturbat me."